Also, I member. I also a member of the cluster of energy at Chihuahua, and right there we have developed a lot of research, and you can find a lot of research on the link that I'm going to show you. Let's go to begin if everything is fine. Okay. Okay, we are ready. We are ready to begin the water scarcity IE solution applying the natural water cycle. I'm going to explain. And we are going to focus on the US-Mexico border states. We are going to cover 6 parts. On the first one, let me see. On the first one, we're going to explain what's going on the border between USA and Mexico, and what is the water status. Everybody, when hot water, don't worry, but if something is missing, like the water, everybody's worried. Then we're going to focus on the big question that we have to think today, right here, and act. It's very important to begin to act today, now. We're going to explain why, because all the water in the world is shrinking, and the people doesn't know why. And they say it's warming up, the air is warming up, the temperature is rising. Then we're going to use some models using artificial intelligence to develop some ideas that we have been working about 5 years from now. And today we are going to be exposed to a solution of water scarcity using the artificial intelligence. Okay, we have some steps to explain, but for that I have an assistant. I call it Eva. Let's go. Good morning, Eva.
EVA, an artificial intelligence assistant for Dr. Jorge Garza-Ulloa. Today we will introduce water scarcity AI solution applying natural water cycle model at the US-Mexico border states. Okay.
Thank you. And we're going to find a way to measure the water supply. There is something that is missing in every part of the world. We have to know what amount of water we have. We need to forecast the demand, and we need to think on policy to be implemented. And then finally, at the end, we're going to see the remark, because this methodology could be applied in any border, region, anywhere in the world. Okay, and then put the question. Let's go and see it. Okay, everybody know we are in a border between United States and Mexico. Okay, but everybody have to worry because we have 2,000 miles, and this crossing is one of the most crossed international border in the world. It's very busy. And right here, we're going to see an example of how to measure, make analysis, and propose a solution with a plan of action for the water scarcity problem as many nations have around the globe. If we have to be serious, we need to focus. We need to focus on the U.S.-Mexico border facing a lot of challenge today. Why? Because we have erratic rainfall. We have shrinking rivers. The temperature is rising. At this time, I was watching the news right now, about 5 minutes ago, and they say we expect some record hot temperature in all the United States, even in Mexico. But the big problem that we have is that the population that we have on the border could be double in 10 years. Okay? It's growing a lot. The big question is, hey, how much fresh water is in the United States-Mexico border? Because it's going to grow twice in 10 years. We need to be prepared. Okay? We need to invite industries to generate jobs, but we need to be sure that we have water for them and for the citizens. To know exactly how much fresh water we have is going to be a tough question. everybody knows that it's not easy because everything is changing. Just let me put this right here. Okay. In previous decade, the answer had been answered in indirect way. Okay. They say, okay, we're going to measure what is raining and what is consuming, and maybe we can find out some kind of idea of what's going on. Okay. Oh, everybody is watching the screen at this time or not?
Yes.
Okay. Some people sending the chat is not watching. I don't know exactly what's going on, but it's supposed to watching this screen. Okay, and then we need to, the top question right here in the area where we are is about the water that is underground because it's accessible at different depths. Okay, let's go and continue. On this,
I'm sorry the interruption. We're not
yes,
able to see the PowerPoint, the presentation. We're just seeing you on the camera.
let me see. Let's go and share again. Thank you for telling me.
Well, I am able to see the PowerPoint presentation.
You? Okay,
Yes.
let's
Yes.
go and share it again. Is working right there?
There you go.
Okay, that's
It was
good.
on our end.
We
Apologize
need
for that.
to be very sure. Whatever you can interrupt me and tell me. It's very important that you pay attention.
Thank
Okay,
you.
then let's go to continue. Right here we have a news brief.
Is the brief on using AI to solve the global water crisis. Dr. Jorge Garza-Ulloa's research shows global warming is dangerously speeding up our water cycle. But by treating AI as a collaborative teammate, we can actually reverse water scarcity in critical zones like the US-Mexico border. But before we can fix it, we've got to understand how the Earth's plumbing is breaking down right now. First, let's talk about the
And they want to talk about the water cycle that we want to show. Let's go and see. With a big question that we have to answer today is, do we live in a water stress region? Yes or not? Okay. The answer is yes. We are in a water stress region. And what is the problem? And at this time, it's a moderate stress. But if this grow, if the stress increase, we are going to have implication on in our daily life because we are going to have trouble to access the clean water. And this, if we don't have clean water, we're going to face how to I want to drink water very clean. That is essential for health and hygiene. Then, if we don't have clean water, we can have a prevalence of waterborne disease like cholera and typhoid. We are going to have sanitation issues. We're going to have food security because maybe the agriculture cannot have enough water to growing what we need, and then it's going to make a disaster because we don't have the food security that we have right now. We need to be very, very sure that our livestock is receiving the water, and we need to prepare to continue our growing. Then, and on summary, we're going to have economic disruption if we don't pay attention at this time. Okay. Then the second question is, can we manage serious water scarcity at United States-Mexico border? This is what we're going to try to explain. But first, let's go to define water scarcity happens when the demand of the fresh water exceeds the available supply. Currently, it's affecting billions around the world and it's threatening ecosystem, it's threatening health and economic stability. But we need to be very clear that we have two types of water scarcity. The first one, physical water scarcity. That means that when the scarcity arises, when natural water resources are insufficient to meet human and environment needs. We hope that never happens right here or in our region. And another type of water scarcity is the economic water scarcity. That is when the water is available, but we don't have the infrastructure that we needed. We are mismanagement, or we have pollution. We need to take care of that. Okay. Now, all the rivers that you are seeing around, even the Rio Bravo or the Rio Grande, you see, oh, a small amount of water. I remember it was falling about 20 years ago. It is possible to represent the water scarcity with intelligent, holistic model. That's the big question that we have to answer. The question is, what is holistic model? Holistic model is a model that is characterized by the belief that the parts of something are interconnected and can be explained the reference of the world. If we have a variable or a model that can explain what's going on, what the water scarcity, that we made it. Let's go and continue. Okay. Let's go and see the U.S.-Mexican border. Let's go to begin with California and Arizona. If we want to ask right now how much fresh water is in the United States, everybody's going to say, hey, wait a second, it's not so easy. Let's go to focus on California and Arizona, New Mexico. Right there, we have a very big basin right there, okay? And it's covering California, part of Arizona, and New Mexico. And you can see right here on this map. This map was facilitated by Princeton University. We have different color, and they are trying to using dark color. That means to the east, or that means to the west of New Mexico and Colorado. They are the darkest color, and it's getting worse if we go to the south. Okay, and they say that they found on New Mexico is less than 12 millimeters by year. That means that we are losing 12 millimeters by year of the level of that basin, the water that is on the ground. They use a different technology, even artificial intelligence methods, and they estimate that the depth across the continental United States has a resolution around 30 meters. Okay, this is not the complete basin. This is only 30 meters on deep, and they are seeing how the level is going down, going down, going down. Then, okay, we are in trouble, and the trouble is coming to our aquifers also, and El Paso, Juarez, and southern New Mexico. Why? Because we have two basins, okay? The Hueco basin and the Mesilla basin are sitting on the Franklin Mountain, okay? At the west, we have the Mesilla, and to the east, the basin, okay? Together, they are giving us the water that we are using on the Texas Water Development Board and on the water of Ciudad Juarez. The aquifers is stretching, but I want to explain a little bit before. The basins have layers of silt. That means we have a fine-grained air composed of rock and mineral particles. They have clay. They have natural air material composed mainly by irradiated aluminum, silicate, and this is very useful for construction, sand and gravel that help to filter and hold the water in the aquifers. Now, if we focus on the Hueco basin, we have a deep of 9,000 feet. It's very deep. That means 2,743 meters in depth. Compared with the Mesilla basin, the yellow one, it's only 2,000 feet. That means 610 meters. We can say that this basin and this are big enough, but not deep enough, what we need on the Mesilla. And And they share a very similar geology, but there is a very little water that is crossing from one bolson to the other one. Okay. The reality is we have 3 states on 2 countries, and they are sharing the same source of water. Okay. We know that the Hueco bolson is the principal aquifer for both El Paso and Ciudad Juarez and Chihuahua, Mexico. It's about 90% of the water that we need is obtained from the bolson. Okay. Right here on El Paso, this is a chart. This was taken from the El Paso water production. And they say the 45% is getting directly from the surface water, that means from the Rio Grande. The Hueco bolson is taking right now the 29% of what we need at El Paso. On the Mesilla bolson, only 19%. They know that it's not too deep. And they have something very special. They have a desalination plant. And that, from there, I'm getting 7%. Okay, this is the world's largest inland desalination plant that we have, and it's producing up to 27.5 million gallons of fresh water daily. And this is as a model for other cities that is facing a fresh water supply. This plant is utilizing reverse osmosis technology to remove salts and other contaminant from the brackish groundwater, ensuring that the water is drinking. We need to explain a little bit more. The heavy aquifers is when they have the level quantity and the level quality is decreasing, and then the salinity is increased. Typical when we have less deeper over time. That means the shallow ones. Okay. In summary, the upper part of the wet bolson contains fresh water to a very slight saline water, right, ranging from less than 1,000 to 3,000 milligrams per liter. Okay, they have been working. Some years ago, they didn't have. They was taking all the water from the aquifers, and they say, "Oh, we are taking more water that they are trying to storage. We need to balance that." It's a very big step, and congratulate to them. But we need to apply this methodology in different part. Now, the big question that we have today is the total volume in the world the same that was on the past time? Are you telling me that are we using the same water that the dinosaurs was drinking? Let's go and see what we can answer that. Okay, let's go on another news break.
As Mexico border. But before we can fix it, we've got to understand how the Earth's plumbing is breaking down rains.
That's correct. Before we can fix it, we need to find a way to measure and to understand what's going on. Then we have some kind of natural water cycles. This is very important today. The natural water cycle is when the water is always moving between liquid, gas, and solid when we have ice. That means our sun is causing evaporation. Our plants as developing transpiration. The transpiration is a natural passive process that does not require external energy. This is very important for water moving through the plant. And we call evapotranspiration the combination of two of them. And then we have sublimation, okay, deposition, and this coming down, precipitation, and it's coming to the river, and sometimes it's filter, infiltration, percolation, and it's forming the aquifer. On summary, we can say yes, the hydrosphere is the total amount of water in any state collected on the air, on the cloud, on liquid collected in the surface from rain, or even on the ground, or snow, ice. We have the equation, and the what is the same. The answer is that we can represent this like a small circle, and the answer is yes, we have the same water. Okay, some people has traveled in space and say, hey, we don't see water traveling from the Earth to the moon. Okay, then the big question is, what's happening then? Is the same water? Why we don't have water today, right here in this area with other areas? We want to answer that one. About 5 years ago, I was wondering the same question. I say, oh, yes, the natural altered water cycle, that means when the natural water cycle is altered, is not the normal one, can be represented, and we understand the effect of the global warming. Okay, that means the natural water cycle has usually on distance is a very small circle. Okay, when the alteration of the cycle, that means when the temperature is growing, this cycle is going to increase also. Not only on the chart, it's going to increase more on the distance because the evaporation, the air, everything is moving around, and is going to increase that natural water general cycle, and we call it the altered natural water cycle. And today it's a lot of increase. It's in red. Okay, that means that the natural water cycle that we have about 100 years ago is smaller than the one that we have today. Why? Because the water is always moving between its state. The rainwater that we see right now, sometimes we think it's coming from the mountain. No anymore. It's that water could be it's brought from the ocean that is days ago it was evaporated. The river water was the aquifer, the same. Could be water from a very high mountain and not very close. Seeing that the natural water cycle is speeding up. That's the big question, is actually the big question that we have today. Okay? Why? Because we have a warming temperature, the evaporation is higher, the precipitation rate are not evenly distributed. Usually, when I came to this area, on this month, usually rain almost every day in the afternoon. But today, it's very strange to see raining. And the coastal region is becoming wetter, more with more water. On middle land is becoming drier. Right now, we are right here on the middle land, that means is drier. That means that more evaporation and more rainfall are falling on the ocean. That means that our water is falling very far away. That means the altered water cycle is increasing flooding. You see sometimes the water is coming too fast, and the people is crazy. Hey, just put us away. Oh no, yes, we need to shrink the natural water cycle. We need to find a way to close the natural water cycle into small areas. That's why we have extreme hurricane and stronger heat waves. Okay, let's go and begin again. The objective, we're not breaking news.
Let's talk about the accelerated water cycle. You see, global warming isn't just making things hotter. It's physically shortening and speeding up the natural cycle. This is causing crazy erratic weather, severe droughts, and massive groundwater depletion. I mean, Arizona's groundwater loss has literally doubled to 0.5 inches per year. Think of the Earth's water cycle like a car engine. Global warming is literally redlining it, causing it to burn through its
Okay, at the end he was playing like our car, that the old car that we use with gasoline. When the get very warm, you see the water and the radiator is going to explode. That's the same happening right there.
Talk about the accelerated water cycle.
You already explained that. Thank you. Then I found an equation that I call it the altered natural water cycle general cycle. Well, maybe I can say one word cycle. Okay, on the global surface. That was about 5 years ago. I say, okay, we have a small equation that is very simple. We are making a relation from this year, from this decade, that means in 30 years, compared with the beginning of the last century. And then we are going to calculate a table. I call it the global average surface temperature. Okay. Then I say, okay, I'm going to check the surface temperature on the 1890 to 1899 on Celsius. It was compared what we have in the 2000. It was negative. Then I found this one. I found this one using this equation. And when every year is increasing. Then again, what we are talking about is about the global surface temperature average. But I am applying this equation. If you don't like the equation, don't worry. It's going to be very easy because it's going to ask you just the values and give the result. Okay. The one thing that we have to remember is the name, altered natural water general cycle. Okay. If we make a circle with using these values, we are going to find a very small circle on the beginning of the last century. In 1800 to 1909, the diameter of the circle it was 0.42. This is that we call it the index of the natural water. Then I calculate again on the 2010 and 2019, it's grown to 3 times and 0.13. And then on the 2025, it will grow out for 5 times. That means that we are frying ourselves. Okay. Is this clear to you? Okay, just to continue, I'm going to say, okay, maybe we can make a methodology to find what's going on El Paso, on Texas. Yes, we have one step. We have the database on climate hydrology characteristic. We know that right here is a cold desert with hot summer. Then we're going to calculate using the equation shown on the last slide, the values. And I say, okay, then we can make the analysis. First of all, I'm going to make the analysis for all Texas. Then I'm going to make the analysis just for El Paso. Why? Because we can see how the average from all Texas to El Paso is. Then I say, okay, I'm going to use the formula. I calculate the average, and I calculate the values, and I found this. Okay, it's a no problem. On the 19th century, on the first 10 of the years of the 19th century was 0.0197. That's a small circle. Right now on the 24 is growth a lot. Okay. And they say, okay, I'm going to check it again, but just in El Paso. Okay. And we found something very amazing. At the beginning of the last century, the temperature of the El Paso was more fresh on the average to the average of all Texas, but it's increasing a lot. You can see the size of the diameter. That explains to us that today we are the hot weather is warming up even faster than the rest of Texas. Okay, then we can make a deduction. Okay, we are going to do the calculation with respect to the state of Texas related to the decade of 1900 to 1901, and we found in 2000 to 2009 it was 2.74 times. 2010, 2019, almost 6 times, and the 2025, almost 8 times. That means that on the Juarez, are using, it's almost the same, but we have an effect called the urban heat island effect because we have more population and more buildings. Then conclusion, the rate of increase of the natural altered water cycle on the border region, that right here in El Paso, Texas, and Ciudad Juarez, is growing even faster than the values of all the states of Texas. That means we need to act now. We have to pay attention. This is not a game. We are gaming our future. Then, okay, and then say, okay, now we are going to have 5 steps. Okay, only 5 steps. Yeah, it's all that we need to make a plan. First, I want to map out the climate and hydrological peculiar for each border city. I already had on the last slide. Then I'm going to calculate and represent the border cities. I already have it on the last slide. Then we are going to do a water scarcity action plan. Okay, now we have the problem, we know how to measure. That means if we invest something and we are going to see that the level of the water is improving, okay, that means our investment is working. But we need to define local and border policies. It's not easy, I know. And we are going to generate artificial intelligence dashboard status. That means that we can see in only one screen everything that's going on and see if we are going to reach our future goals. Okay? That means that using algorithms for artificial intelligence to demand supply and measure the impact of policies is possible daily in a dashboard to see if it's working or not. Of course, it's going to take time. We have so many times warming up. We need a lot of times to cool down. Let's go on to, okay, one more news.
You can't fix what you can't measure. Enter the Altered Natural Water Cycle, or ANWC index. This tracks exactly how badly the cycle is distorted compared to historical baselines. So just how bad is the damage? Well, down at the El Paso Juarez border, the alteration rate is growing nearly 8 times faster than historical averages due to rising desert temperatures.
Yeah, thank you. Now say, okay, well, what is the plan? What is the action plan?
Second, you can't fix
thank you. I read it. Okay, then I'm going to explain a little bit about the action plans. Okay, we are going to make a circular water cycle reinforce. The question is, how can we reinforce a water cycle? Okay, we are going to build a stormwater parks and recharge the basin across the Franklin Mountain, and also on the border of Rio Grande. Sometimes right there you can see it's very dry, and the borders could be greener and retain more water and make the water cycle smaller. And we are going to pretend to reduce the reliance on the Rio Grande also and Hueco Bolson if we are trying to use the water that we are filling our Bolson. Okay, we are going to find the balance between supply and demand. We need to optimize resources by low energy recovery systems. That means, for example, the water desalination. And another experiment, we have now a water pump that does not need electricity, only different pressure to pump water from the aquifers. And we need to do something in a real time with the help of the neighbors. We cannot work alone because the problem is of 3 states on this region, 2 countries. And we have to design a climate conscious urban design. We need to find a way to save millions of gallons annually using precision irrigation, even on our plant in the garden, even in our parks. We have to reduce the runoff and evapotranspiration. Okay, you remember that evapotranspiration is the evaporation. Right now, rain, and in about 5-10 minutes, it's gonna be very wet because everything is evaporation, and the tree is doing the same. It's transpiration a lot, and the water is going up instead of maintaining on the. We need to reduce the runoff and the evaporation. For that, we need to grow infrastructure, a green infrastructure. Then we need to develop a binational and community resilience. That's the hard part. I know this is not very easy. The 2 countries agree, but on this time, they have to pay attention. Why? Because we are sharing the aquifer management, even if we want it or not. And we need to have an emergency plan. What happens if one side is running out of water and the other half? Could you help? We have implement each other? The answer, I guess we can. We need to integrate community-led water council local knowledge and conservative ethics. That's very important. We need to know, to explain to everybody what's going on and what the ethics that we're explaining. And then we have to, then we have to innovate and monitor. We have to evaluate the natural water general cycle. As I propose right here, we are going to use real sensor to almost on the real time to measure the level of the aquifers, okay? And we need to focus on the water quality also. On some part of the in any city in Juarez or El Paso, the water is not clean. What's going on? We need to be very sure that we are covering. One more, finally.
Diagnosis to a high-tech cure. We need AI implementation engineers.
That's very important. We need IA implementation engineers. Some people from studying artificial intelligence say, we don't find jobs. Right here is jobs.
They use AI as a virtual teammate. AI can forecast demand spikes, control smart irrigation, and reroute water in real time, working alongside natural solutions like urban stormwater parks to hit 100% water recovery goal by the year 2045. By shifting from passively watching the damage to actively designing solutions with AI, we can turn the tide on the water crisis before the well runs dry.
That's correct. Thank you. That means we're going to define local.
From a grim diagnosis to a high-tech.
Okay, that means that we need to make periodic evaluation of natural water general cycle index. Why? Because we need to expand the way the aquifers are recharging. Right? Right now, the aquifers are under stress due to the declining Rio Grande flows and limited recharge. We need to pay attention. We need to implement a design, a fine way to recharge the basin using permeable soils instead of the normal pavement and treatment storm weather. Some people don't worry for the storm weather because they say, oh, the water is running out, but it's running out on the street and it's picking up a lot of trash, a lot of contamination that sooner or later is going to contaminate our aquifer. We need to correct that one. It's not so easy only to say, don't run the water on the street. No. Then we need to deploy a smart irrigation system. We need to be sure every part of the agriculture or landscaping consume the water in a very smart way. We need to implement irrigation using artificial intelligence. That means control. We need to control almost everything. Okay. And we need to the process evapotranspiration. We need to reduce the amount and the transpiration from the plant. Why? Because we want to reduce water loss. Okay. How can do that? We can use it with the index, the number that we get. We're going to help us to receive a feedback of the infrastructure that we are installing and is working or not. Okay. You know that the flash flood that sometimes we have heavy rain and it's running off. It's a waste potential recharge water we need to capture. We need to think about it. We need to make an action, install water infrastructure permeable using biowells and rooftop captures. I'm talking about biowell is a vegetable channel designed to vanish and treat stormwater runoff. Okay. And number 4, we need to integrate the national plant. We need to share with Ciudad Juarez and work together, and even with New Mexico. And with what action we need to formalize some border agreement in case of emergency. We need to monitor in both sides and join the action of recharge the aquifers. And finally, we need to launch a regional water cycle monitor dashboard. This is very important. We need to find a way to only one screen that can be easily checked for both countries, both cities, and even for specialized people in living. We need real-time or almost real-time values Why? Because we are talking about adaptive management. Whatever we implement is not working, we need to adapt and correct it. We need to build a public-facing dashboard to measure precipitation, to measure the aquifer levels, and see how much is increasing or is decreasing at this status almost every time. Why? Because we need to forecast. Okay, that means that we need to improve transparency. That means we need to make support from the people and foster community engagement. If not, we are lost. Okay, then I'm going to explain the dashboard idea. Okay, this is not built at this time. This is only a research paper. This is I call it a blueprint. It's not a construction order. It's a way that we can do it. Okay, we need to find a baseline. Okay, now we need to need at this time what is the value of the water that we have to respect to our goal. And I found that on 2025 is 62%. That means that we can full again recharge the basin to 100%. Why? Because at this time we have more strays. That means they already lost the level. We have incomplete water cycle loops. The evaporation is going to our sky, then the air is taken away to another region, and the rain is not coming back right here. We have a fragment policy coordination. Everybody is doing whatever the team, but we don't have a global, we don't have a municipal, we don't have political. Then you say, okay, can we simulate a chart on 15 years, we want to reach the 100%. It is possible? Yes, it is possible following this simulation. Okay, on 2030, we are going to have 70%. On 2035, we're going to have 80%. If not, we need to implement or improve something. And say, look. Explain a little bit more. Okay, right here I have a table of the action implemented. I check in the time, the strategic intervention, the impact, and the score gain. The score gain is the percentage of that we are increasing our level on the aquifers. We are going to build stormwater parks and recharge basin across the Franklin Mountain. Why? Because we are going to expand the aquifer recharge zone. Where is going to impact on the storage? That means we're going to increase the water 8% that we have already on the aquifers. We have to deploy smart irrigation system. Okay, that means we need more infrastructure on irrigation and be sure that they are reusing water. They don't need to take drinking water. They have to use clean water, but not very high quality. They can reuse it, and with that we're going to slow it down and gain 6%. We want to also to retrofit the urban stormwater capture. Okay, that means more infrastructure to stormwater. That means to capture water. This is collection water that's going to increase 7%. We're going to integrate national water management protocols. That means that we're going to have a policy between two nations, two states. We could increase 9%. And then we have to implement the dashboard. And the dashboard, because you're going to see a problem and correct it as soon as possible, we can gain another 8%. On summary, this is what we can have if we work today. Last year, I was thinking last year, okay? If we begin right now, I put a delay at the beginning because always the projects have delays because we have a lot of people working. On 2027, we can earn 65% if we initial our planning phase. That means we need to inform everybody and to involve everybody. This is not an action of one people or one company. This is from all the citizens from both countries, from 2 states. Okay. On 2030, we're going to implement the smart irrigation route. And we're going to increase the level, score 70%. On 2033, okay, we need money to stormwater infrastructure, and we're going to gain 6%. On 2036, we're going to increase to 82%, and we have expanded the aquifer recharge on, okay, that means the water level is increasing. On 2039, I know that the protocols between countries is very hard to reach, okay, we're getting more time, but we can increase another 6%. And if we have this dashboard working, we can correct something else and achieve our 100%. And what do you think? This guy is dreaming. This is only paper, this artificial intelligence. Let's go on to explain a little bit before I can answer that. Okay, a recommendation, we need to shorten the natural altered water cycle that right now is increased by global warming. How can we achieve it? Okay, we need to use circular economy, as everybody knows. We need to take care of the natural resources. Everything is a circle. That means now we have a tool to implement. We have a tool to measure. We have to increase the natural production of what we need. We also need to take care of our animals that are helping us to restore the water cycle, and finally we're going to restore. This is the plan in a very short way to recuperate the levels of the water that we are drinking on the balsams. But we cannot stop right there. We need to focus now on industrial production. We need to be very serious with them. Okay, we are going to use water. I'm going to reuse water. Let's go to study what water you need, and maybe build. You want to have a park, okay, and then the same park we're going to build a pond, and they are going to take the water from there, and they are going to try it right there. I'm going to recycle. We want to take care of the human consumers. Sometimes the people say, hey, we can make a lot of business if we are going to plant a lot of trees to growing pecans. Yeah, but the pecan needs a lot of water. Maybe we can grow another kind of because the water at this time we need a balance. Okay, we need to balance what the consumers is going to eat, to drink, to help always to the circular economy. And all the waste. Right here is a fortune. Everybody that study waste management say, oh, even in the Havana, you know, right now they have energy crisis. They don't have petroleum that was sent by Mexico or by Russia, etc. And there's one people that say, okay, I'm gonna build a vegetable. I'm going to make vegetable. I want to dry it. I'm going to push it. I'm going to obtain a liquid energy, and with that, it's going to run my car, and it's working. Even in the lowest level of the incomes, they are creating solutions. Okay, and there is a lot of things that they can use right there, and I love the people that always is improving. That means that we need to share our knowledge and make the computer work for us, for everybody, okay, to resolve the water scarcity. Okay, just this is the end of the slide. Okay, in summary, we need to recharge our aquifer. This is a way to a pond is going to recharge our aquifer. They're designed to do that. We have to build some channels, or to send the water exactly what is needed. Okay, we need to restrict the amount of groundwater pumping. Okay, everybody is close to El Paso, close to Juarez. They make how they call it in English. They made a very deep excavation, and it's taking water. We need to now we are taking care of it, and we need to focus on water reuse. Right here, I have a review from the Richard Price. Richard Price is the the foundation is the founder of the academic edu, and the director this time. This sent me a review. Let's go on to hear it.
That using AI algorithms means we could forecast water demand, plan supply, and actually measure the impact of policies all in real time. AI-powered dashboards for water. Sounds a bit sci-fi, right? So let's break down the 5-step action plan Dr. Garza-Ulloa proposes. First, map out the climate and hydrological quirks of each city, like how much rain actually falls, what's the temperature, which aquifers matter, all that stuff. Second, calculate this NWGCI value for each city and decade, turning it into a chart, kind of like a health score for your region's water cycle. Third, design action plans from stormwater parks to grey water reuse to smart irrigation as ways to heal the water cycle and shrink our reliance on overstressed rivers and aquifers. Fourth, set up periodic monitoring using real-time data and community feedback. If an intervention's not working, adapt fast. Fifth, use AI forecasting to project how these actions might play out. Could we reach, say, a totally sustainable water balance by 2045? What would it take? Now, it's super important to recall that this isn't a magic formula or a guaranteed fix. The research lays out a vision, kind of like a set of blueprints, not a construction order. So just putting sensors everywhere or running AI doesn't water your roses. People have to build, maintain, and collaborate. If you live in a water-stressed region, what does this mean for you?
Okay. On summary.
Maybe you'll see new
summary.
Policies about grey water reuse, more parks that act as aquifer recharge zones, even community dashboards tracking rainfall in real time. You might get to join a water council or hear local officials say NWGCI a lot more than you used to. Also, can I just say, dashboards for water sound neat, but I still mess up setting the clock on my microwave. So take that for what it's worth. Don't expect AI to save you from user error. Anyway, as the paper wraps up, Dr. Garza-Ulloa suggests that this model could be applied to, well, any border region, anywhere nations share water. But again, this is one viewpoint. It's published research, not a policy mandate. Real-world implementation depends on politics, investment, local buy-in, and honestly, a bit of luck. So take away the idea that research isn't about absolute truth. It's about offering a lens to look through, a set of tools or terms to test out. If you're worried about water where you live, start asking if your city has any plans like these. Sometimes the academic jargon is just hiding something incredibly practical. Well, that wraps our deep dive for today. Thanks for joining me on In Depth with Academia. Keep questioning, keep wondering, and maybe drink a glass of water. It might just be worth more than you think. See you next time.
Okay, thank you, Richard. With that, I'm going to say thank to everybody. I am open to questions. All the papers that I have, the information that I explained right here is on these 3 papers that I already published. I can send you the links. And I have some videos also that's gonna help. I am open to questions.
Does anybody have any questions?
I know that this presentation can be watched around campus. Maybe the people can send, I don't know, an email or later or right now. Okay, just no questions?
No, none on this side.
Okay, let's go on and ask one more question.
Yes, we actually do have a question. I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead. The question is?
No, it doesn't work.
Where's the microphone?
Right here. Yeah, the computer.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for your talk.
Thank you.
I think your methodology is a great way to visualize how deterred the water cycle has become, and it's very intuitive for people to understand the visualization that you put together. I do have kind of my main concern, because I've been working on water for quite a while now. I'm a
Yeah.
research associate here at UTEP. Because from all of the meetings that I go to and the talks, I think that the problem hasn't really been like having solutions available or the technical capacity to do it, but mainly the social barriers that we have to make it happen, right?
That's correct. Political also.
Yeah, political and mainly the economic constraints and interest in the region, right?
That's correct.
Because, for example, here in El Paso and Las Cruces, the main use of water, like 70% of it, actually goes to irrigation, right? And most of it goes to pecan farms, right? So
Yeah,
we are exporting most of our water from our region that is suffering from water scarcity, right? So the
that's correct.
city itself is not really the problem. Like water utilities, IBWC, they've been doing a great job at optimizing the use of the water, right?
I know
Um,
that.
right,
I
but
congratulate them.
do you have any recommendations on how we can approach the farmers, the big politicians, the economic interests to like bring one of your solutions together, like doing irrigation with artificial intelligence?
Yeah, we need to get close to that people. Sometimes the people that is in agriculture think a little bit far away from the city, and they don't. We need to go to them like a student, like a professor, like a community, and hear them. What is your problem? For example, I'm gonna give you an example that happened right here on Chihuahua. Let me show you. Some people say, okay, I have the where to get the water, but I don't have electricity. Okay, this I don't trust the sun. There is a solution that does not use energy. This only use a chain of pressure. Okay, and I explain to them, they say, true? Yeah, that's true. The only thing that is very cheap, the component that you need, and you're gonna have extracting the water. Obviously, this is an example, okay? We don't have motors, we don't have wires, we are not using energy. This is something that we need to grow. Like sometimes when we are studying, we everything want to do with technology, and we are forgetting the human mind. The human mind is incredible. It's bigger than the artificial intelligence. We don't have to worry for artificial intelligence. We need to work together and make the artificial intelligence work for us. That on summary, we need to go to close to the people, make some meeting with them, and hear what their needs. Because it is a business, maybe they say, okay, if you implement that, I can give you money because you're gonna save me a lot of my problems. Maybe not, but we are going to try to get, or maybe we can ask um, our research and ask us some money for that. I don't know if I answered the question or not.
Well, it definitely helps, right? To like put it on our minds and also as academics that we need to go to them, show them something, right? The solutions or prototypes so that we can make some kind of
Exactly.
progress,
Involve
right?
them in what we're doing for them. But first of all, we have to hear.
Yeah.
Another question?
Yes,
That's
Dr.
good.
Garza, can you hear me?
Yeah, sure. I hear you. I
Sure,
watch you also.
sure. Okay. I am Carlos Yates, president of the Energy Cluster of Chihuahua. We just recently have a water summit in Juarez, and
That's
we
correct. I
bring
was
it
there.
the corporations of the local and state agencies that handle the water in the city of Juarez and the city of and the state of Chihuahua. And also we bring it the high-tech corporation from Israel. And also we bring it the NatBank. And you remember that because you were as a part of the cluster, we were able to put it in the table, the problem, the high technology, and probably the finance support to these projects. But I think, what is your recommendation in how to create a culture that we can use that high tech, those funds, and especially as the other person that talk is it probably is the same percentage that we use in the state is between 70 to 75 go to agriculture. How can we maybe try to make them understand, or how can we enforce that they use high tech and be more efficient in the use of water? Because as you very clearly explained it, we have the same water as the all ages in Earth. So how can we maybe making them aware of this, but also trying to enforce that they use high tech in try to use in more efficient way the water. And congratulations for the great presentation that you did. Thank you, Dr. Garza.
Thank you, Dr. Yates. There is a lot of work to do on that part. We need to get closer to the people. Right now, even the people that live in the city, they understand that the water is expensive because they don't have potable water. They have to go someplace to take it. Okay, they know the problem, but the same is happening with they have a culture at this time to say, okay, I'm gonna take care of the water because I know, but the people that is on far away from the city for generations have taken water, and they never ask for nobody, and they never nice permit and nothing. It's gonna be a big problem, but we need to have rules. We need agriculture, but we also need your products, and we need livestock. We need have drinking water. We need to balance everything, and the only way is communication and getting closer and closer. I know that it's not an easy way, because there is some people even on. I was on a big ranch on the close to Chihuahua, and they say, no, I take the decision right here. This land is mine. I was thinking in a cowboy movies of around 1850 because they are not connected with the reality. Okay, maybe we need to make a council and try to support them in some way that get involved. We are not the enemies of them. We need the product. Maybe we can help to sell more. Yeah, you help us to control the water, because we're going to make an association or a cluster or a community service that we need to involve everybody with what's going on, because some people say, oh, the meat is the prices are increasing and increasing. What do you think? What are we gonna eat? Okay, we need to get involved and lower prices. Okay, from the bottom. I know that at this stage we have problem with wars that nobody wants, but at least one people want it, but not everybody. We have a better problem to resolve. Okay, and in summary, we need to close together. For example, right now I am thinking maybe UTEP and the cluster energy, we can make an event right here in El Paso or in Juarez or on both sides, and share solution, inviting people from Israel, because they have a nation that all the water right there is a scarcity, and they found a solution, and they know the solution because they use it every day, and we are trying to begin from zero. First of all, we need what we have available, and then to improve it. If we don't have the money to do that, well, okay, we're going to create it, but it's going to take more time. As I explained, we are against time, because on one presentation, our goal say that if we don't do something, we are going to be in trouble on 2045. Okay? Maybe I have 74 years, say, oh, 19, it's not my problem. Yeah, but I have to, I want to leave a message, a legacy that we are trying to do something to avoid this catastrophe. And everybody need to join us and work together. I invited UTEP, I invited a lot of universities, no, even from the border or another countries, whatever they have problem, get close. We usually don't charge for that, because we're on the cluster, because we are going to send information, present the problem, present the solution and the weight, even the money, how to get the money that the NatBank offer. And NatBank has some plans from the both sides of the United States and Mexico. That means that we are wasting our time when we have resources, economic resources, because we don't have plan. Maybe this is an initial plan. Of course, that at the end is going to change a lot, but it's going to improve. I don't know if I answer because I take it so long. I know that there is another lecture after.
Thank you, Dr. Garza. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Yates. Any more question? Dr. Hernandez?
I think we're good.
Okay, and then we're going to finalize. And I want to, if you have a friend, you can go to my page. You can go to the Cluster Energy Chihuahua page also. We work together. Right here is my website, Garza-Ulloa.org. I was professor in UTEP. I have a lot of friends. I know sometimes the professors are too busy to hear because your ideas, but we need to find a way to, like this, like the Wild Week event, and assist. Even I couldn't assist one. We have the recording and we can sparse that information around the world. Thank you very much. And whatever they need, we are available on the Cluster Energy Chihuahua in our web, also on our web page. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you for
Dr.
listening
Garza.
all the time. See
Thank
you.
you. We appreciate your time.
Thank you. Bye-bye. You don't have anything else? I can stop sharing. Okay.
Yes, thank you very much.
This is following the Professor Vladik Krainovich. He's a very good friend of mine. Say thanks to him and bye-bye.
Thank you.
You
Thank you.